Unlocking thousands of dollars of student aid starts with one crucial step, creating your FSA ID. Don't let confusion hold you back any longer. Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're tackling the one thing that stands between you and your financial future, and I promise you, we are going to make it incredibly easy.
Today's Explainer is your ultimate guide on how to create an FSA ID for federal student aid. Think of me as your personal, enthusiastic coach, here to guide you through this necessary bureaucratic step. We're going to break this down so completely that even if you have zero prior knowledge of the financial aid process, you are going to walk away an absolute expert. All right, let's dive into this.
Here's our roadmap for today. Introduction, preparation, the step-by-step process, common troubleshooting tips, tips for security and maintenance, and finally, our conclusion. Let's get right to it.
Okay, Section 1, Introduction. What actually is an FSA ID?
Well, simply put, it's a username and password, but more importantly, it serves as your legally binding digital signature. You use it to log in and access all federal student aid websites, and most famously, to submit the FAFSA. So the absolute most crucial point here is that this isn't just some simple social media login. Because it's your legal signature tying you to federal documents and financial aid, it is strictly individual. You can never ever share your FSA ID with anyone else, not your parents, and parents, not even with your kids.
Moving right along to Section 2, Preparation. Let's gather your info. To avoid any headaches, here's the exact information you need to have ready before you start. You need your full legal name, your date of birth, and your social security number if you have one. Now listen closely to this part. Your name must match your social security card exactly. No nicknames. If your card says Robert, do not type Bob. You'll also need a mailing address. And finally, a unique mobile phone number and email address. Every single person creating an account needs their own separate email and phone number. You literally cannot share these across accounts.
A super common question we get is, who actually needs an FSID? Well, if you're a dependent student, you need one for sure, but your parents will likely need their own accounts too. Depending on marital status, living situations, and tax filing status, you might need one or both parents to create an account. For instance, if your parents are married and filed taxes jointly, just one parent needs an FSID. But if they filed separately, or if they're divorced and remarried, you just follow the arrows on this flowchart to figure out exactly who needs to set up an account to contribute to your FAFSA. It's like a simple logic puzzle. Now, for a crucial mistake I see literally all the time. When setting up your account, you must use a personal email address. Whatever you do, do not use your high school email address. Why? Because this FSA ID travels with you through all 4 years of college and well beyond as you manage grants or pay off loans. Once you graduate high school, your school's going to delete your student email, and you will lose access to your federal student aid account, causing massive login headaches down the road. Stick to a secure, personal email.
All right, Section 3, Step-by-Step Process. Let's start creating the account.
Step 1 is easy. Just head over to studentaid.gov/FSAID/create-account and click Get Started. Step 2, you'll enter your personal info, that perfectly matched legal name, date of birth, and SSN. Step 3, you'll create a username and a super strong password that's between 8 and 30 characters long. Finally, Step 4, just drop in your contact info and mailing address. Now, a really fantastic update for the 2026-2027 cycle is that for most users with a Social Security number, verification with the Social Security Administration happens in real time. What used to take days now takes about 10 minutes. It's a total game changer, letting you start your FAFSA in the exact same sitting.
But hey, what if a parent contributing to the FAFSA doesn't have an SSN? For contributors like undocumented parents or citizens of the freely associated states, you'll just follow a slightly different path. You'll select a little box that says, I do not have a Social Security number. A warning is going to pop up, but don't panic. Simply click Continue without an SSN. Then you just input your personal information. And here is a very critical warning. Do not use an ITIN or individual taxpayer identification number as a replacement for an SSN in this field. Just leave it be.
Now, regardless of whether you have an SSN or not, every single user must complete two-step verification. You'll get a secure code sent to your email and another one texted to your mobile phone. You just enter those to verify the accounts. You can also optionally set up an authenticator app. I strongly urge you to set up multiple methods so you never, ever get locked out. Once you're verified, the system generates a unique backup code. Please write this down and keep it somewhere incredibly safe. If you lose your phone or change your email, this backup code is your ultimate master key to get back into your account.
Okay, let's look at Section 4, Common Troubleshooting Tips.
fixing some common issues you might run into. So, you hit a roadblock. Here are the easy fixes. If you get an error saying your SSN is already in use, that means an account already exists. Think about it. If an older sibling went to college, your parent might already have an account. Never try to create a duplicate. It causes major system delays. Just recover the existing one. Forgot your password? No problem. You can now use real-time two-factor recovery or that master backup code we just talked about. If your legal name is literally too long for the box, just enter as many characters as it'll let you. And if you're experiencing homelessness or just lack a permanent address, don't worry. You can get permission to use the mailing address of your school, a relative, or even a friend.
Now I want to highlight an incredibly empowering recent update for contributors without an SSN. Previously, if you couldn't be instantly verified by the credit bureau TransUnion, you had to submit manual documentation and just sit around and wait. But as of a recent update, the Department of Education has actually paused the manual identity validation requirement. This means individuals without an SSN can immediately access the online FAFSA form right after creating their studentaid.gov account. No waiting for document reviews right now, you can get straight to filing. How great is that?
Moving on to Section 5, Tips for Security and Maintenance. Let's protect your account.
We really need to talk about digital hygiene for a second. This account gives access to your highly sensitive tax data and serves as your legal signature for federal loans. Securing it is absolutely paramount. Like I said earlier, never share your username or password. Store that backup code we generated in a secure, memorable place, like a physical safe or a secure password manager. And crucially, if you ever change your mobile phone number or your primary email address over the next few years, make sure you log in and update your FSA ID profile immediately so you don't lose access.
And that brings us to Section 6. Conclusion. You are ready to file. Let's pull this all together into one clear takeaway. Your FSA ID is your digital signature and the absolute key to your financial aid. You now know exactly what documents you need, how to avoid common pitfalls like using a high school email, and how to navigate the system whether you have a social security number or not. You're fully prepared. Don't wait on this. Go create your account today so you are ready to file that FAFSA the very moment it opens.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a quick required note. This explainer is for informational purposes only. The processes and website interfaces shown may change over time, so always refer to the official federal student aid website for the most current information. All right, now that you hold the legal key to thousands in federal aid, what dream college are you going to unlock first?